Do a part two on the distancing of people, or I'm not sure how I could what I could call this. It's this thing that influences me anyway, and that's a person just turned up at my house who I was nice to, and I'd stop and talk to this person. It's a male, but I think he's gay, and he just turned up at my doorstep, and I'm like, you know, I'm not gay, but I'm friendly. And when I talk to young girls at checkouts, I'm friendly. I'm not gay. I'm not. I don't want sex with them because of the 13 year character assassination by family here in Tokoroa. Lots of people have come to the conclusion that all I have to do is look at the wives or the daughters and I want to have sex with them. And I don't. I have no interest in it, and I have no interest in them. And the trouble is when you tell people you don't want to have sex, they all think, oh, yeah, sure, sure. It's like saying when someone accuses you of murder and you say I didn't do it, all the criminals in jail, you say, did you do it? And they say, no, I didn't. I have no interest in physical activity with females or males sexually. I'm not interested. I'm over it. Mainly, I'm over it because of the character assassination. The intention was the young girl fell in love with me, and the intention of the parents was to make her hate me, and or to make me hate her, or to make her and I dislike each other so heavily that in the end we would be repulsed by each other. And they did a beautiful job of it because I have no interest in it anymore. And I like being alone. I like living alone. And the whole thing, the character assassination, made me very sad, very. It kind of made me because of all the females I met who over that period of time felt that I was stalking them because of that, because of their reactions, because of their vanity and their egos and their prides and that, and their just and irrational fears. It made me have a strong dislike of having a female in my life. I mean, if they're going to be that easily led and somebody just goes up and said that person's a stalker and they're after you and they believe it, I mean, you go like, really? Sometimes when I go around the lake, I'll like cycle three times. The first time the females wave, the second time they wave, and then by the third or the fourth or the fifth time, some of them start looking scared. And I'm like, I'm riding around the lake. I've no interest in you at all. And they look genuinely scared. And you're sort of thinking, it's it's not. I can understand how people get stereotypes or they get a feeling of, are you really thick? Are you really that thick? And you, or insecure or pride or vanity. And it's when you appear, I think, in their lives repetitively, they assume without any other evidence that you're stalking them. And that's another reason why I have no interest. The reason I'm not gay is because the thought of having sex with a male makes me want to vomit. Okay, so there's no attraction there at all. Nothing. Females, I'm like over them. They're just in my life. The only thing that interests the females I've ever been around and near is themselves and sex with other people and money and a lot of them playing the victim. I mean, one of them I was going with, we were going to get married and everything, and she was mucking around. And her sister came up to me one day. Her stepsister was going on about how horrible it is when one little partner mucks around. And I thought, oh, she sympathises. She realises what happened. By the end of the conversation, she was very clear that she believed I'd mucked around and I hadn't. And so the one who had mucked around was playing the victim and gaining huge amounts of sympathy. And it's like my ex, she leaves me with all the kids in debt, struggling to survive while she goes out and lives a single life, new cars, everything. And everyone's going on, oh, poor dear, how dare she's missing out on her kids. And I'm like, she walked away. Anyway, why I don't like men is because I'm not naturally attached to men, although I don't think it is natural. I think it's extremely not natural. But I'm not attached to men. I don't want a man. And if I follow men, I cycle around, I bump into a man 3 or 4 times, it's just because I'm cycling around the lake. The thing I can't understand with these males and females, I think when you're nice, they assume you're attracted to them, is they have an insecurity, a weakness, or a desire to be stalked. I think a lot of females desire to be stalked, not because they want to get captured, raped, or anything, although some would actually like it. It's because their lives are boring, I suppose, or they don't get enough attention. One of the ones at Counton, the one I call the Beetle, who was about 15 years old, she kept yelling at me at the counter. Whenever I went up to the counter, I'd be carrying stuff up the counter, and she'd go, "No, I haven't got room for you. Go." I should put up the sign saying that her checkout was closed and all this, and I'd be like, so I'd have to go by in a long line, and she had no one there she was serving, or she'd call someone from another line. She'd tell me to go away, call someone from another, and she'd serve that person, and then look at me smugly like, "Go away, you evil man." That's that's the kind of treatment I've gotten because of the lies of the girl Renee and her family, and it puts me off horrendously. I've met women that I've gotten on really well with, and they hear about the character assassination, no proof, just lies, and they fully believe it, and they walk away from it. And after 12 years of that, trying to create friendships and relationships, or coming across other women who tried to use me when they got pregnant to pretend I got them pregnant and things like that, I'm just over women. I'm just not interested. There must be good, honest, decent women out there, but other men have got them or whatever. But I don't have them, and I don't seem to come across them. And they, or maybe something about me and my nature that causes them to think, well, I can get something out of this guy. And I'm just not interested anymore. So I'm not interested. So why I'm not interested in men, just part of my Why I series, why I'm not interested in women. The other part about why I'm not interested in men is I was abused by a man as a child. Now, I don't like to talk about that because it's a personal thing you don't want to talk about. I noticed in my teenage years and in my 20s, I used to get really violent when gay guys got too close. And then we were living in a house in Kent Street, Tokoroa. My mother had gays coming over at night, and I was sleeping on the couch because there was no room with my 6 sisters in the bedrooms. And it was only a 3-bedroom flatting situation. So I had to sleep, I think it was 3, might have been 2 bedrooms, but I had to sleep on the couch. And Mum would have these 4 or 5 gay guys come over, big black fellas, and they'd spend the whole, heaps of the night telling me as soon as I went to sleep they were going to do all sorts of foul gay things to me. And I used to sit up on that couch. I was at high school in 3rd form, the year of our exams, and I used to just sit there terrified. And I wouldn't go to bed. And so if they stayed till 2 o'clock in the morning drinking that, I wouldn't go to bed. And I'd turn up at school the next day totally exhausted. And Mum thought it was a great joke. She loved it. Whenever they said they were going to rape me on the couch, Mum would go, "Oh, do it. She thought it was just great. And she used to tell everyone I was gay and stuff. And it's the kind of sickness I had to put up with from my mother's mental bent, because she thought gay guys were great to go out with and party with, and she thought it was a great thrill to see how they attracted men and have sex with them and stuff. And it was a really effed up childhood. But I it's not me. I'm not gay. I don't want to be gay, and I never will be gay. Um, I don't know. It's like you can tell people a million times, but because of the character assassination and they created lies about my character publicly, people believe this stuff. And I still go around the lake and people look at me like, oh my God, she's after me. And the blondes, they actually cover their eyes. And I'm not joking. They're that dumb. They actually go, when they see me, because they've been told, they probably made a fake video or something, I don't know, with deep fake. And they've been told that all I have to do is look in their eyes and they're instantly going to be taken off and raped in the bushes or something. They're that dumb. You can't do that riding past a person, but they believe it. And I'm not saying women are fake. I'm not saying, it's just what I've experienced. I mean, when they started covering their eyes, and I kept going around thinking, what's wrong with them? It took me about probably half a year to clack that they were covering their eyes because they were terrified they're going to get hypnotized. I'm not gay, and I'm not interested in another relationship with a woman. Jeanette and her crew have just taken all the desire for a relationship and a friendship with a woman in that sense, romantically, out of me. It's just not there anymore. And I think because I've been attacked so much from the outside, I prefer the little home environment I've got now, and I don't want anything in it. Because if I bring a woman in, she'll poison it. I certainly won't bring a gay in, and that gay guy turning up just, I don't know if he is gay. He acts gay. He sort of does this and stuff like that. And I'm like, but there are a lot of famous actors, males, who actually do that. Like, I think it's Peter O'Toole and a few others. They actually do very feminine type movements, and they're not gay. But I noticed what I said before. I noticed one of my when I was in my teen years and in my 20s, I used to get very violent if a male gay touched me physically. I would just smack him and stuff like that and push him and shove him into a wall, and I couldn't figure out why I was so violent. And other memories in the last 17 years started coming back, and I realized, see, when you're a child, I can't remember which therapy book I read it in. When you're a child, you ever see a man stand up as a full adult and he's clenching his fist and he's jumping up, down, screaming at someone? That's a result from doing that as a child. Like, say he was a little boy and his father came in and started punching his mother over in front of him. He wanted to stop it, but he couldn't. He was a little kid. And he knew that if he stepped in, he'd get beaten up. He was of no help whatsoever. It's very frustrating when you can't do anything about it. He might have seen his sisters get into a fight and get hurt, bullied at school, and it drove him crazy. So as an adult, he might have got hurt himself, like sexually abused or beaten. And so as an adult, he decided in his mind, even if he doesn't remember the reason why, might have been blacked out or something as a child, he has huge violent fits as an adult due to whatever. And whenever gay guys touched me, I would just cringe and get really angry. And I would just lash out and elbow strike them or smack them in the face or shove them against the wall because I can't stand the thought of them touching me. But I never knew why. And then now I know, and I try to control it. And I do know a lot of gay guys. There was a gay guy I was working with about, 6 years ago. And he made a comment about my legs on the job. And I just told the boss, I said, you tell him, if he ever touches me, I will smack him in the face. And I'll smack him hard. Or something like that. And she told him, and he never said a comment again. And he's in his 20s. But it's just, a preacher, a pastor once told me I was very unchristian of me to have this attitude towards gay males. But I said, I can't help it. I was hurt, and I struggle with them touching me as an adult, even in a not in handshake, handshake's fine, but touching my body, Like if a gay guy came up and patted my backside, I'd probably just lash out without even thinking. And so, but yeah. So I have no desire for gays. I am not gay. I've never been in a gay relationship. And honest to goodness, if I had sex with a male, I would probably come straight home and put a knife through my chest. And I'm not joking. I just don't do that stuff. It's just, to me, it's absolutely disgusting. It's gross. It's filth. And I don't want ever to be a part of something like that. Anal stuff is just sick. As far as women are concerned, it's sick too. But it's the character assassination has just effectively killed any desire for it. And the real negative about that is if you don't like females and if you don't like males, people sit there and say, "Oh, you must be a paedophile, or you must be after something else." It's because they have sexual weakness, and they assume that no one can survive without being sexually weak too. So they think you've got to want something. I do see women and I do get attracted to women. And there are a few times I've looked at women in the last 5 years that I've actually been sexually turned on. I mean, it's natural. You look at and think she's gorgeous. It's natural to get turned on. Okay? So that happens to me. It's not the sexual side of it, it's the other side. It's them victimizing me. It's them thinking like the 15-year-old attacking me at Countdown, having her fits, and me just staring thinking, "Oh my gosh, this woman's crazy." But by her being abusive to me in front of everyone, the police could have been brought in. And, so I kept away from her. I was terrified of her. And I still see it every now and then. So I have the desire, like everyone else, has to be loved. I have the desire to fall in love with someone. I have the desire to be in someone's arms and to have someone to talk to, have a best friend, to make plans with us, to be a companion, to walk down the street with, where she wasn't ashamed of me, or wasn't looking at other guys' legs, body, or arms, or whatever. I've always wanted that since I was a child, but it's never come. So I'm good with that. But I'm not gay, and I'm not desiring or wanting a relationship with a woman anymore. And I'm not a pedophile, and I'm not whatever else the character assassination has said. I just wish I was able to have my say where people would actually listen to me and believe what I'm trying to say. And then they realize that, no, James is not like that. James is just trying to live his life. That's why I keep putting up stuff saying, I live a monk's life. Monks didn't go out and have sex with women. They just dedicated their lives to God and to helping people. And so that's, how I want to be. So I have no desire to do those other things. So I could go on for years over this, I suppose. So I'll leave it at that. But this deeply disturbs me, how people have formed an opinion of who I am, and when I'm kind and nice to people, somehow they assume I'm after them sexually. And then that has me really confused, and that makes me push people away. Like if I'm kind to them and I help a person, but she's a female, I back off straight away. I just help her and get away. I don't create a relationship. I don't create a friendship. Because if I do, she'll hear about the character assassination and say, "That's the only reason he helped me. He's trying to have sex with me." That's no-brainer stuff. Yeah, I'm not. But, it's their issues that are creating a monster out of an innocent person. Have a nice day. Thank you for listening, if you want to listen to this.